We left off in Salem, Massachusetts, and my friend Dan was showing us around. Salem is really a lovely town. We decided to visit a botanical shop. Oh wow, it smells amazing here.
So at one point, my wife and her friend had thought about making their own toothpaste. And this is like where they came when they were thinking of what ingredients maybe would work. Charcoal.
Right. Some mugwort.
So this is where you go to get the recipes for all that stuff,
Yeah, the Chinese with their 5,000 years of herbal knowledge. They know stuff.
Big time.
They know stuff.
Thousands of years of knowledge and experimentation and everything else.
So this is some serious witch tourism here.
You're about to head into
So
the auditorium.
basically, it's not like a museum that you just walk into and look at stuff. Like you go in and they give this presentation.
I see.
I think it's literally the same thing that they've had since the '60s, like the crumbling dioramas. It's pretty bad, to be honest. It's pretty bad. It's tourist bait. The thing is, man, about all these old Puritan guys, that they were vicious assholes. They were not open-minded, as we all know that, about
Right.
taking that 8th grade history. But we were just taught that, they were very strict, and, you had to follow the rules.
But the rules were crazy.
The rules were crazy. For example, Quakers, were pacifists, still are. When they showed up, if you allowed a Quaker even onto your property or gave them shelter during a rainstorm or snowstorm, you could be punished by having all your property taken away. Like, there's no tolerance for any kind of open-mindedness or religious observance that didn't match what the Puritans thought.
Wow.
The exception is Rhode Island. So your man Roger Williams, he tried his hand at that whole Puritan thing, and then he's like, no, you guys are way too uptight. And they were like, if you don't like it, leave it. So they banished him down to what is now Rhode Island.
It's like, fine, I'll
He
go.
established that colony down there, and it, based on religious tolerance, based on open-mindedness to Native Americans, basically just being a good dude.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Rhode Island is basically founded by a good dude.
Absolutely.
That's
I
so
didn't know
great.
that either. I didn't know that until I moved here. Basically, he was like, hey, everybody's welcome here as long as you're on the same page. And for decades and even centuries, Rhode Island was a much more open-minded place for people to live. But along those same lines, I think people up here denigrated Rhode Island, like, hippies and vile, immoral people. And it's bullshit, man. Rhode Island is a place to be.
This land was once owned by Richard Moore, the only Mayflower passenger to move from Plymouth to Salem. Oh, that's cool. And he's buried in the cemetery we're about to visit. Love it. Some notable burials include Bartholomew Gedney, who sat on the court during the Salem witch trials, and Nathaniel Mather, brother of Cotton Mather. This house was taken from China and meticulously rebuilt in the 90s. Wow, stone by stone.
Yeah, the real Chinese families' home. They were very wealthy, so it's got room after room and different like fountains and ceremonial areas and stuff like that. can take the ferry boat into Boston. If you work downtown Boston, you just drive down here, catch the 7 a.m. ferry, and it's just a beautiful ride. With you can go inside and work on your laptop, or
And how long does it take?
stand outside on your deck. I think it takes about an hour, or maybe 45 minutes.
Not bad at all.
But it's about the same as what the train would take you.
Now we learn about somebody who was probably the grandson of this guy right here. Nathaniel Bowditch?
Yeah, and he started when he was a kid, like literally a kid. And he's so brilliant, I mean, off the charts genius, that he worked his way up to a position of authority on the ships, and he single-handedly, with no education, reinvented the entire system of maritime navigation as it was back then, to the point where it became the international standard, like within his lifetime.
Wow.
With no education.
Please enjoy this public way.
Oh yeah, right down there. You can get down to the water. And that smell is a little pungent, but it's not pollution, and it's that's just the smell of
The ocean.
Yeah, of low tide and the bacteria and the seaweed and shit.
Yeah, it's not bad. Okay, man, it is biting cold. It's really cold. The wind, when it's going, my God, it's just crazy.
Tinker's Island, that little thing there. Houses on it.
How do you get out there?
You just have to own the place, otherwise you can't really live. And there's one person who lives on the island year round until it's
How-
much for fire.
How exclusively cool.
I know.
Ooh, yeah, it's cold. I don't know that it's ever been the cold I'm feeling right now in California ever. At least in my elevation, it's biting cold.
I was like, Mateo, don't forget your coat.
Yeah.
No, I'm good, bro. Mateo, you're gonna need it. No, man, I'm hot.
I would not have been able to get out of the car with this wind like this. No way. That's a nice house. We get something to eat?
Sure.
We're here at Maddie's Sail Loft here in Marblehead. Not getting any seafood, but so glad to be here. Got half a beer in me, and talking about lightweight. I'm drunk.
My kind of trash bag is being discontinued, so I went and bought.
What a great time. It's too bad I have to leave in the morning.